That music must mean it's time for Animal Talk. Animal Talk Rewind today, going back to 2001. Our guest, Mort Crim, famed Detroit TV newscaster, and he was the motivation. He was the muse behind Will Ferrell's Ron Burgundy. So there you go, a little fact about Mort Crim. And Mort, just a fantastic guy. This was the second time we had him on the show. First time he was in the studio, this time we got him on the phone. On the show today, you're going to hear Mark Hannes, Brian Donovan, Dr. Brad Davis, and myself. We have some fun with Mort. He's just such a great guy and such a great guest and has the best pipes on the planet. Anyway, here we go. It's Animal Talk.
Animal Talk, the bastion of the maize and blue. Big U of M fan. And our affiliate KPSL in California, in Southern California. Richard, who is the program director there and a general all-around good guy, is an Ohio State fan, and I'm very sorry for him.
Mm-hmm. They're working on a cure for that.
Yes, they are. As a matter of fact, Wolverines love to crush Buckeyes on a regular basis, and this is just the opening volley of a feud that will go on for years. Because, he said he put Animal Talk on in Southern California because he believes there should be aid to the sports challenge people from U of M.
So you're starting a rivalry between U of M and Ohio State? Wow, Mark. That's great.
No, actually, it's more of a rivalry between Animal Talk and a brand new affiliate station manager. Yeah, that's a good thing.
Richard, this is for you. And if you have any, if you'd like, we give you rebuttal time. Feel free to call 1-800-738-1886.
Yeah, we'll play any anthem. We'll just Anthem Day here on Animal Talk.
And remember, the Wolverine is the largest species of weasel.
Yeah. That's right. And they can, actually bend rifle barrels in their jaws. Well, maybe.
But we do very happy to be in California.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you very much for having us on. But that was just the opening volley of a war that will go on for years, I'm sure.
Uh-huh.
And today's topic on Animal Talk, though, happens to be pets add to the quality of your life, like a Wolverine adds to the quality of my life, and crushing Buckeyes adds to the quality of my life. But also, pets in general add to our quality of life. Isn't that right, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, studies, the anecdotal information and support for this is legendary. Anywhere from people that have gotten better through contact with animals, through hospitals, to people just everyday life, lowering stress, of course.
Absolutely. And we have a very special guest, don't we, Brian Donovan, to help to illustrate how this quality of life is brought about.
Yes, our guest began his career as an ABC network correspondent, continued on to briefly anchor news desk in Philadelphia and Chicago, and then spent almost 20 years in Detroit. Lastly, as senior editor and anchor for the evening news at WDIV-TV Channel 4, Detroit's NBC affiliate. He's a highly sought-after motivational speaker and author. Of particular interest to our listeners is Second Thoughts, How to Be as Terrific as Your Dog Thinks You Are, and of course, the host of the immensely popular syndicated radio show of the same name, Second Thoughts. Our guest is Mort Crim. Welcome to Animal Talk.
Thanks, guys. Last time you had me on here, I believe you had a snake wrapped around my neck.
Yes, we did. And look how that increased your quality of life all in just 1 second.
Yeah. Well, the reason why we wanted you back on is, first of all, to see if you would say yes, because we didn't know how you interpreted that.
He likes us. He really likes us.
I actually have a warm spot in my heart for that snake.
Well, Mort Crim, my father used to say that everybody has something to teach you. Many pet owners have extended this adage to their dogs, of course. And Mort, what life lessons could we possibly learn from our dogs, animals that could never hope to understand the complexities of our lives?
Well, I think just about every positive human trait that we would wish to cultivate, we can see exemplified in our pets, and in particular in our dogs. Now, I have nothing against cats. In fact, I have a cat. And there's one chapter out of about 12 in this book that's devoted to cats, so it'll give you an idea of the relative esteem that I hold for cats. I've always believed that everybody should have a dog to adore him and a cat to ignore him. And that's kind of the way it works. But dogs, they have enthusiasm, they have optimism, they have total acceptance, unconditional love, forgiveness. They don't carry grudges. They're grateful, they're loyal, they're playful, they're teachable. They live for the moment. They scratch their itches. They do their business in public. I mean, our politicians could take a lesson from that.
Would we really want to see that, though?
But I think there's so many things that we can learn from these wonderful animals that have justifiably earned the title of man's best friend.
Regarding the calming effect that pets have on us, do you think our pets serve as a way for us to channel and focus our thoughts and emotion, or do you believe that animals have some intrinsic ability to produce positive effects on us?
Well, that's a good question. I was once asked, I was on a book tour promoting this book, and I was once asked by somebody in the audience, do you think animals truly have empathy with human beings? In other words, do they feel our pain? Do they recognize when we're sad or when we're happy? I only can tell you a personal story that when my first wife was very ill and, in fact, was dying, our daughter was 16 years old, and she had this little miniature dachshund who is featured quite prominently in the book, actually. And it just seemed to me that this little Doxy, which had been her constant companion and pet since she was 9 years old, had a real understanding at some level, some emotional empathy, that this animal knew that his master, that Carrie, was suffering. And she would take the dog up with her to bed at night, and he had always slept at the foot of the bed. But I would notice on these particular nights when she was feeling especially blue and down in the dumps over her mother's condition, that Bogey would often snuggle up right next to her and put his head on her arm. It was almost like the dog knew. Now, obviously, they don't have the reasoning powers, they don't have the language skills, but it was like there was some kind of an emotional connection that this dog understood that Carrie needs me in a special way.
Now, like you say, when you look into a dog's eyes, and something tells you that there's definitely something special there. Mark Hannes is a reptile enthusiast. Do you think chameleons, for example?
Snake man.
Yeah. You take a chameleon, provided both eyes are looking right at you. Do you think they have... Do you think there's the same thing in their eyes? Do they possess, for lack of a better word, a soul?
Boy, now you're going to get into a theological discussion here.
Well, I heard you're a smart guy, so I figured you could handle it.
I'm smart enough not to answer that one.
There you go.
And fair enough. What are your thoughts?
Although I think I worked for that guy one time.
Oh, there's plenty of them in this business, I'll tell you. What are your thoughts, Mort Crim, on animal rights?
Well, I think there is, fortunately, a growing awareness in this country of the rights of animals. I happen to think that we have an obligation, a moral responsibility as human beings to protect what we refer to as the lower forms of life. I think children and old people and animals are dependent upon us to look out for them and to care for them. And to me, there is no more heinous crime than a crime against somebody or something that is in a vulnerable position, whether it's a senior citizen being abused in a nursing home situation, whether it's an animal that is abused, or whether it's a little child that is abused. These are creatures, human and otherwise, that are dependent upon us to look out for their care. And I think when we violate that trust, it's one of the most heinous things that can happen.
You have a new book, The Joy of Good News. Where can folks find that?
Well, it's available in bookstores. It is an inspirational book that is quite appropriate to read with your morning coffee. Read the newspaper, get all depressed down in the dumps over the headlines, and then read a chapter of this book. And I think it'll pick you up. It's at Barnes & Noble. It's at Borders. It's at Christian bookstores around the country. And hopefully it'll be in stock. If it isn't, we can only hope that means they've sold out. And it's available through the computer, so it can always be ordered either by the author's name, Mort Crim, and that's with a C, C-R-I-M, or the title of the book, The Joy of Good News.
Mort, thank you for being with us. As always, it's a joy. And you've also started a new news program in the morning, haven't you?
A radio newscast live from my home, from the studio that I'm using to talk to you guys.
It's called Mort Crim in his underwear.
Mort Crim. Oh, you've been peeking. Well, it is nice to be able to do a newscast in my bathrobe.
There you go.
That's an option that I didn't have in television. I want to make one final observation. I had always thought that my cat had a brain the size of a pea.
Mm-hmm.
But when I heard you guys picking a fight with the man who's just signed on to carry your program, I thought my cat's a genius.
Oh, fair enough. Thank you.
Mort, thank you very much for being with us.
Hey,
We
it's
really
always
do
fun.
appreciate it. Mort Crim, ladies and gentlemen.
It's like a trip down the Amazon. Guppies to wombats, Animal Talk covers it all.
1-800-PET-1886. 1-800-738-1886. We're talking about how pets increase your quality of life. And if you have any pet-related questions whatsoever, if you have a dog question, a cat question, bird, fish, reptile, any question whatsoever, we're here to answer your call. We have open lines at 1-800-738-1886. Pick up the phone and give us a call so we can make your world animalogically safe and sound. You can also email us at questions@animaltalkradio.com. We're also going to do kind of come up with a list of some unusual things that you can do with your pets, or that maybe celebrities have done with their pets as well. So we have all that coming and more, but now it's time for
Fact or fiction? You decide.
All right, Brian Donovan, tell us how this works.
Well, we know when it comes to animal stories, truth is oftentimes stranger than fiction. We're going to read 3 news stories, 2 of which are true, 1 is false, made up by Dr. Brad Davis. It doesn't mean he's going to read that story. Your job is to ferret out that false story. Call us at 800-PET-1886 if you think you know which one it is. If you're correct, you win prizes for your pet. Good luck.
All right, the first story is snake bites man's... Well, his penis. A Colombian man is recovering in the hospital after his penis was bitten by a snake.
Oh.
The man was reportedly urinating behind a bush while working in a field when he was bitten by a Mapana tiger snake. He was taken to the hospital in Bogota by his wife, who was woken by his screams. The newsman said that this man has not been named, but he has been treated with an anti-poison drug. The doctor says he's very lucky to have survived the accident, as it is that kind of snake is very dangerous.
And once again, our theme is how animals add to our quality of life.
Story number 2 out of San Francisco. The San Francisco City Council approved Monday a resolution that would change the way that animals are referred to in legal documents. By a 10-3 margin, the council passed a motion that will end the use of words such as cat, dog, horse, and so on in laws and legal documents, replacing them with the terms canine American, feline American, equine American, and so on. This is such a positive day for people who care about animals everywhere, said Councilwoman Rolinda McDaniel. They are finally going to get the proper respect they deserve in laws. This is the dumbest thing we've ever done, said Councilman Bert Afgard. We have so many real problems here, and we are worrying about offending animals by the way their species are mentioned. It's absurd. The law takes effect August 1st, 2001.
So now snakes are serpentine American?
Serpentine Americans. Wow, there you go. And the third story is Group wants Constitution to protect pigs, or porcine Americans. Florida's Supreme Court was asked on Thursday to decide whether a proposed constitutional amendment protecting pregnant pigs from cramped quarters should go before Florida voters next year. Backers of the amendment say that expectant sows are tethered and housed in cages so small they cannot move about. The prisoners suffer myriad maladies because of their confinement, they say. Floridians for Humane Farms, a Pompano Beach-based organization, want pigs protected by the state constitution, the same document that protects such inalienable human rights as life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The group said it has collected more than 132,000 signatures, about a quarter of the nearly 500,000 needed to have a petition placed on the ballot.
Do pigs eat chads?
The pigs eat chads.
I just want to know, they could actually save some problems here.
I just wanted to make sure that Brad would just, audit himself when he answered that.
1-800-738-1886 is the number to call. If you know which one of these stories is false, a fabrication, or a lie. These are really, there's some weeks where the stories are, okay, these are really awful.
They're out there.
Yeah, these are very out there. And if you have any idea which one of these is false, pick up the phone and take your 33 1/3% guess here at the Animal Talk Radio Network at 1-800-738-1886. Hey, let's go to the phones. Let's go to Tom. Hey, Tom, welcome to Animal Talk. How you doing today?
How you doing? I got a question for you. As far as your things there, that guess would be the one where they're classifying the species as canine American. That sounds pretty ridiculous to me.
So you think that's the false story?
I can't imagine that one being for real.
Guess what? You're a winner.
You are correct. There is no such law or pending law that's going to replace regular pet names with canine American, feline American, and so on.
But there will be soon now.
Yeah. I got a question for you.
Shoot.
I have a 9-year-old Maltese dog, and real good animal, excellent animal. Recently, she has had a problem with an ear infection, and like her ears will give off a pungent odor.
Mm-hmm.
I have a medicine that I treat her with. Is this some sort of is this going to be a recurring thing now from here on out, or is this the sort of thing that could clear up and go away, and I could never not have any more problems with?
Yes. The ear infections are one of the more common problems in veterinary medicine. Veterinarians, in fact, think it happens about 8 times as often as it really does because it happens so commonly, generally to the same animals over and over again. The reason is most ear infections are based in allergies. Animals have allergies, and they tend to get chronic ear infections because of that. So there's a good chance this will be a recurrent problem. However, what you can do to try to stop the problem from happening is get some ear cleaner from your vet to keep the ears clean and dry. Clean them out a couple times a week. I don't know exactly what medication you're on, but make sure it's something good from the vet, not over-the-counter. Over-the-counter meds don't do a whole lot as a rule, but you want to find out exactly what's going on there. In fact, if there is already an infection in the ear, you're going to want to clean them out before you start the medication because, again, you don't send a patrol car into a riot. You got to get things cleaned up a little bit first.
Right.
So what I would do is find out about getting the ears cleaned out, start from scratch, make a regular schedule of cleaning the ears 1 to 2 times a week, and hopefully that'll keep things under control. Could it be something you never see again? It could be we just got some moisture in the ears and that's seeded an infection, but it could also be that we do have allergies and we'll have the infections over and over again.
Well, she seems to have allergies because, especially in the spring and summer, because recently her eyes, just kind of well up and kind of water up a lot more. And my vet had told me that I can use like the over the counter. I think it's a Benadryl. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, you can
break off a piece.
You can use Benadryl for allergies, certainly. That's a perfectly good thing to do, about 1 milligram per pound, up to 3 times a day. But the thing is, that'll control a little bit, but you can still get the ear infections because it sets up a situation in the ears. So yeah, clean them out, keep them clean.
We'll be right back. More Animal Talk. Sticks and stones may break your bones, but Animal Talk will never hurt you.
1-800-PET-1886 is the number to call here on the Animal Talk Radio Network, and I am Mark the Animal Hannes. We're talking about today how pets add to the quality of our lives. And one of the things that we were talking about is some of the unusual things that you can do with your pets. And also we have a caller poll today, and it's based on this news story. It says the Rolling Stones gather more fish. The Rolling Stones have been voted the #1 band to increase a fisherman's catch. A survey of fishermen by the U.S. magazine for boating found that the band's music quickly blast fish out from under the rocks or the hard places they like to hide in.
And that's why pets increase your quality of life.
And they found that they found great success playing ZZ Top 2 and came to second bowl. Actually, what this is talking about animals and music.
Right.
And what is your pet's favorite song?
He's like Stretch Armstrong.
Sometimes catching an animal at the end of a hook can make your life.
Yeah.
1-800-PET-1886 is the number to call. We do have some phones open. Hey, let's go back to the phones. Let's go to Rosie. Hey, Rosie, welcome to Animal Talk. What can we do for you today?
I talked to you a couple of months ago about my 17-year-old dog.
Mm-hmm.
And I told you about his legs shaking. Well, I'm used to that. Mm-hmm. But now he is turning up his nose at all bacon strips, and I bought sausages, took the first time I put one out, he ate it. Second one, he won't have nothing to do with them.
And then what'd you try?
And I bought some dry dog food or in a bag. It looks like hamburger. He won't eat it.
And then what'd you try?
Canned dog food.
And then what?
He eats it sometimes. He will even turn his nose up at it sometimes.
Oh, my goodness. Did you try anything else?
What else is there?
Exactly. That's the point we're getting to. Now, there may be a medical reason why a 17-year-old dog would stop eating, but behaviorally speaking, you don't want to switch like that, because the more you switch, the more you teach your dog about variety and the more finicky they get. However, the medical aspect of it.
Yeah, there's a huge medical aspect here. As a matter of fact, it's something I've been dealing with at my clinic. A lady left. She went on vacation, and she left someone to watch her pet for a 17-year-old dog, believe it or not. And the dog crashed while she was away. And I've been talking to her across on the other side of the country. And finally today we put the dog down. And it was a very sad moment because I had to call her on the other side of the country to talk to her about it on her vacation. So this is a big problem as animals get older. We start seeing changes in their diet, in their eating, in their diet, what they want to eat, also their drinking and all that. How are we acting otherwise?
Fine. We just came back from a trip in April. He did fine in that. I've had him to the vet. He is okay as far as the vet is concerned.
Okay. Well, you have to decide here is it a problem trying to find new food? Because if you can get the pooch to eat at all...
I'm getting with Alpo. He loves Alpo. I tried a different brand, and I didn't like the looks of it. Mm-hmm. Alpo at least looks like it's got gravy and peas and different things in there. He will eat it. But one night he actually turned his nose up on that because I tried to put some hard food in there, and he will eat it because I think he needs some hard food too.
Well, at this age, I would just give whatever we'll eat. And Alpo's a really good food when you get really old.
For dogs, too.
One thing that I want to know. Should I warm... Now, I open the can up and I give him so much. I'm trying to give him like 2 meals a day because he did leave some. He was full and he left. Should it be warmed or can he eat it cold from the fridge?
Yeah, feed it cold initially and then use that in your back pocket, meaning that if there's a problem later where we're not eating, try putting a little bit of water in it.
You warm it in your pants?
Well, I've been putting it in the microwave and warming it and then let it cool down and then give it...
Well, you're heating it up and letting it cool. Well, you can. What you can do is make it into a slurry. Even put some water in and make it into more of a slurry by stirring it up. That way, they're able to get the nutrients and get the food from it without having to chew a whole lot. There's probably some teeth problems here. I would just whatever we'll eat, as long as we'll eat, that's what I go with.
Yeah, because I am giving him medication for his gums.
There you go.
There you go. All right. Hey, thanks for calling, Rosie. We appreciate it.
Hey, Brad, is there such thing as an Alpo press like a syringe?
Alpo press. I'm sure they have some sort of newsletter.
Yeah. 1-800-PET-1886, 1-800-738-1886. So let's go back to the phones. We do have a couple lines open. Now's the time to call here on the Animal Talk Radio Network. Let's go to Kathy. Hey, Kathy, welcome to Animal Talk.
Hi.
Hey, Kathy, what can we do for you?
I have a Bichon Frise, and it eats like almost anything it can find. We had some licorice packed for vacation. It was in our suitcase. The dog got it in our suitcase and ate a pound of licorice. It eats things out of the trash can. We can't keep the dog from eating. It eats anything.
Well, dogs will eat just about anything they get their mouth on. This is a handling issue, a supervision issue. Most dogs, especially when they're young, they'll devour anything they can get close to. So it sounds like you have to keep a better eye on your dog.
Okay.
If he's able to get into these things, and that's the first issue. So when you can't keep an eye on him, he should be in a cage or an area where he can't get into trouble. When you are in the same room with him, you might want to even invest in a couple baby gates so you can make sure the dog's in the same room as you are, and so that you can get him past this problem. How old is the dog?
About 4.
4 years old. And how long has he been doing this?
Forever.
Yeah. It's kind of along the lines of, my dog keeps running away from home. When you look at that, it's like, well, how can the dog even, get out of the yard or out of the house? Somebody's not watching him closely enough. So you do have to keep a close eye on him.
I didn't know if there was a way we could make him stop eating things he wasn't supposed to eat.
There's nothing you can do after the fact. Okay, dogs learn in the immediate. So when he gets into something, anything you do at that point, he's going to associate the correction with you, not with the licorice or anything else he's gotten into. You see? So,
what about the trash can?
Same thing. If, for instance, the dog tipped over the trash can and at that moment something bad happened and scared him away from the trash can, then you'll be successful. But if he gets into it and then you walk into the room and then you correct him at that point, he's just going to associate it with you. You see?
Okay.
So, again, since that's such a difficult correction to make, you have to make sure that he just can't have access to it.
See, you're trying to tell a dog to not do what a dog does.
Okay.
Eat stinky, smelly things. That's one of dog's favorite pastimes.
He eats anything but dog food.
Well, that's because he doesn't eat dog food because he's getting everything else. He's just fine.
Full of licorice.
Okay.
All right. Hey, thanks for
I
calling.
didn't know if it was a behavior thing I could make him stop doing.
Kathy, you're in Illinois, are you not?
Yes.
I have a list of dumb laws. Did you know that in Chicago, it is an offense to feed whiskey to a dog?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so the licorice is okay, I guess, from a legal standpoint, but don't let your dog get into the hooch.
Okay, I sure won't. I'll keep him out of that.
Okay.
Empty the bottle before you throw it away.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
Thanks, Kathy. 1-800-738-1886.
My dog
Pick up the
keeps
phone and give
driving
us a
my
call.
car to Florida. How do I stop him?
We're talking about how pets increase the quality of your life, loosely speaking, in some way or form. And actually, I did some research and found out some unusual things that some celebrities are doing with their pets.
Now, I just didn't get the premise of this whole bit. Increasing the
just let him.
and then unusual things. I don't get it.
I have some.
Because I got one thing.
When the
I got
Germans
one
attack Pearl Harbor, he's on a roll. Let him go. Let him go. Just let him go.
Okay, the first one is Eminem would teach his dog to lift his leg to the insane clown posse. That's one of the things he did with.
Well, how about Pat Sajak spends hours trying to get his cat to buy a vowel?
Or Limp Bizkit would share a meaningful tattoo session with their big bad dogs.
Okay. Charlton Heston spends time teaching his damn dirty apes how to load a gun.
And you're listening to Mark, Brian, and Brad here on the Animal Talk Radio Network.
Our very own Larry, Moe, and Curly, Mark, Brian, and Dr. Brad here on Animal Talk.
Welcome back to Animal Talk, and you're listening to Mark the Animal Hannes, and this is the Animal Talk Radio Network. The number to become part of the Pettivities is 1-800-738-1886. We're talking about how pets can increase the quality of your life or just generally share things in your life. And like some certain celebrities do unique things, like Jennifer Lopez includes her cat while doing butt crunches.
Oh, well, Adam West, well, it involves a golden retriever and a robin outfit.
See, I didn't get the premise. I had one thing, and I'm not even sure if it fits.
Okay.
Wait, I had one
Okay,
thing,
go ahead.
and I'm not sure if it fits. Teach your snake to stand very still and go to a costume party dressed up as Moses. Did I get it or not?
Go. Okay, and Blink-182 would take time to be naked with their favorite breed of dog, the Mexican hairless.
I dare you to name a song that Blink-182 does.
Yeah.
Not one.
There you go.
I just saw them doing.
His kids wrote these for him. That's what I'm saying.
My nephews helped.
Yeah.
they help with interesting thing. Yeah. 1-800-PET-1886. 1-800-738-1886. Hey, let's go to the phones. Let's go to Ron. Hey, Ron, welcome to Animal Talk. What can we do for you today?
Oh, I need some information on a cat disease, FIP, feline intestinal periodontitis.
Okay.
Are you familiar with it?
Sure. Well, it's actually feline infectious peritonitis.
Yes, sir. I can't pronounce it right, but
No problem. It's what this is a disease that does your cat have this?
oh yeah, he passed away from it.
Oh dear. Well, how old was the kitty?
3 years.
3 years old. This is one of the real bad boy diseases. The good thing about it is it's not as common as the other diseases like feline leukemia or FIV. But this is one that it still does happen and way too often. FIP is, as it says, an infectious disease. It is spread from cat to cat, but more often it's spread from mom to the babies. So often you'll have a litter that gets tested for this and is found to be positive or not. The tests aren't very good for it. When you when they run the tests, it's a titer, meaning they find that it's in the system, but that just means they've been exposed to it. It doesn't necessarily mean they have the disease. The best way I can there's two forms of it, a dry form and a wet form. But let's just talk about the wet form. That's the more interesting. The disease itself, if you picture a clock and you were to pour glue inside a clock, how it would gum everything up and make it stop. That's sort of what happens with feline infectious peritonitis. This thick protein material sticks everything in the abdomen together and basically stops the animal from functioning. It's a terrible
he was
disease.
dehydrated and his stomach swelled up.
Yep, that's what happens. That's the fluid that's filling up inside the stomach. That's not the stomach, but the abdomen, filling it up so that it just nothing works right. And the treatment for this, there really isn't a very good one. It's just like end-stage HIV. There's not a lot of really good treatments that you can do. So, yeah, it's a pretty bad situation. Were there other cats around this cat?
Yes. Well, he's never been outside, though, and the father cat, he used to fight him a lot.
Yeah.
So you think the father cat might have it?
It's a very good chance. Is the cat still around?
Yeah, he's still here.
Yeah, I would go get a tighter dunt for that cat to see if this is something that that cat has as well, just to see if there's something going on. Is there a lot you can do to help if we are positive? Not really.
No, but there's no cure for FIP, no?
No, not really. But there is supportive care, supportive things that can be done. And
and then you wouldn't expose it to other cats.
Right,
too.
exactly. To help protect other kitties in the area. Because if a cat goes outside and has FIP, there's a good chance it's going to share with other cats in the neighborhood. That's how these things spread. Just like HIV with people, it spreads from people not knowing they have it, spreading it to others. So
well,
yes.
Is there a possibility he could have got it by fighting his father cat inside the house here?
Sure, it's possible. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, would it have to be a puncture wound or something, or?
Well, I don't believe that is spread through saliva. I think I think it would have. Well, I don't think it's spread orally through saliva, meaning hissing at each other, like let's say FIV or FELV. But it would be. It is. I would say that it is probably from a puncture wound from a bite, and it could just be a little micro bite that you don't even notice, just a break of the skin. So yeah, it's very possible. Very possible.
Well, there's nothing that really could done for him then.
Not really. Once you have FIP, you're in deep trouble, and I'm sure sorry to hear about your loss, but I would get the other cat tested as soon as you can.
All right, hey, let's go to Dot in a car. By the way, we do have lines open at 1-800-738-1886. Go ahead, Dot. What can we do for you today?
Hi, I have a 3-year-old dog. It's a mutt. They said the mother was a Shar-Pei, but I don't think she was even a full-blood Shar-Pei. And she's very aggressive around other dogs. Mean is what I mean. Mm-hmm. I mean, I have no doubt that she could, in a dog fight, probably kill one. And I'm just wondering, should we send her somewhere to try and cure this behavior? Is there a cure? She loves people. Very friendly and docile with people.
Yeah. A truly dog-aggressive dog, that's untrainable. In the sense that, a dog that hates all other dogs, you can't teach a dog to like other dogs if he really, really hates other dogs. And one of the hallmarks of this condition is that they look like they're going to kill another dog, but they wouldn't harm a person, if their life depended on it, because they just associate dogs with something, who knows, very, very negative, and you can't persuade them otherwise. You can control your dog, and you can take him to obedience class and teach him to behave himself when you're out in public. But if you were to leave the dog alone with another dog, you're not going to change how he interacts.
Brian, don't you have a dog-aggressive dog?
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that, Mark. Dogs yeah, I have a dog who is dog-aggressive, and there's not much you can do about it. You just have to realize that you're limited, and everybody has their cross to bear with their animal.
And I've seen Brian walk through a dog show with this dog off leash, totally under control, and not going after the other dogs.
Really?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's completely possible. And if you work with your dog, but again, you're not going to impact how the dog reacts when you're not around to other dogs. So yeah, you still have some a little bit of latitude with the dog, but you're not going to be able to turn him into Lassie. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Well, my husband and son took her fishing, and at this place they camped, the owner had a dog, and the first couple of days, their dog kept coming around, and our dog was on a leash, so she couldn't. But he said by the end of the 3 days, I think their dog was a lab. Mm-hmm. Finally came over, and they both just laid there, not next to each other by any means.
Well, your dog may not. He might not be a truly dog-aggressive dog. He may just not be socialized very well with other dogs. In which case, again, training is going to help you out a lot.
Taking it to obedience school with other dogs?
Sure. Yeah. And a dog-aggressive dog would not let another dog near him without throwing a fit.
All right, hey, thanks for calling, Dot. We really appreciate it. And listen to Mark, Brian, and Brad here on the Animal Talk Radio Network.
4 out of 5 ferrets prefer Animal Talk.
Welcome back to Animal Talk, where we talk about what you do to your pets, what your pets do to you. We've been talking about how pets add to your life, and we did some research and found some of the unusual things that celebrities do with their pets to add to their quality of life, like Kid Rock would have his big lizard take videos of his time with Pamela Lee Anderson.
Oh, that's good. I have Kevin Costner uses his bloodhound to try to find just one script that doesn't blow. Well, NBC, the network, they have a team of monkeys that are writing the new season of Will and Grace.
Okay. 1-800-PAT-1886. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Marianne. Hey, Marianne, welcome to Animal Talk. What can we do for you?
Well, I have a Labrador that snatches everything, when he's in the mood to do so.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been suggested to me that I put a muzzle on him, one of those that with a wire mesh.
Yeah, that's not a good idea. What do you do when he grabs something that doesn't belong to him?
Well, I get it away from him and punish him.
Well, so you chase him and grab it from him?
Yeah.
Does he run away like it's a game?
Oh, yes.
That's why he's doing it. You don't want to chase him. You want to put a leash and collar on your dog and try to keep a very close eye on him. Make sure he's in the same room as you're in. Maybe put a couple baby gates at the entrances of the room so he has to stay in the same room as you. When he grabs something, don't chase the dog. You grab the leash, you give him a choke chain correction, tell him no. When he drops it, you give him some praise, give him a toy he can play with, and that's how you're going to solve it. As long as you chase him, he's going to keep running away from you, and he's going to keep stealing things.
The thing of it is, he is a trained guide dog, and I brought him home last September, and he is a good guide, but he will grab things, and that is a pain. But
now is he your dog?
Yeah, he's my dog.
Okay. Well, that's a pretty cruel joke. He's playing on you then.
Well, it is because I can tell usually when he's going to get something, but then on the other hand, sometimes I can't. But I was afraid that if I got the muzzle, that he would be frustrated to death.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. And I was afraid he would be because lately sometimes I keep him in a crate once in a while. But and he likes that. I mean, he likes his crate.
Let me ask you this: does he do this when he's working, or just when he's off?
Sometimes he does do it when he's working.
Oh, there you go. That's a major problem.
He has to be retrained. Whoever the school is that you got him from, you should contact them and have their trainers reevaluate the dog and maybe put him through some remedial training.
Yeah, well, I've talked to them, and what they tell me to do is keep him on a tie down and keep him with me all the time.
Okay.
And you're listening to Mark, Brian, and Brad here on the Animal Talk Radio Network. And thank you very much for listening to this hour. And remember, as always, have an exotic week and kiss your wild thing for me.